Good day, everyone. My name is Yao. I'm from SIM, Singapore Institute of Management, where we provide programs from foundation up to master's program. So this is basically an institute based in Singapore where you can consider to study overseas. So let us start the presentation. So before we start, I would like to ask you guys, what are your top 3 priorities if you're considering to study overseas? So everybody has their own opinions in terms of like what are the top 3 priorities when they're looking for further studies. So in my opinion, I would like to have one of them. Basically, I would like to have a qualification that is globally recognized so that I have the opportunity to actually work overseas. So next will be also having a career development opportunities within my study period. So for example, if I'm taking a 3 years degree, I would also like to have a lot of curricular activities so that I can develop my skills that meets the requirement of the current industry or even future industry. Next will be the affordability as well. So if I'm studying overseas, it needs to meet my budget. I cannot overspend so that I wouldn't burden my family or even myself as well. So these are mainly my top 3 priorities when I'm actually looking for overseas studies. So as I mentioned before, each individual, they have their own priorities or own preference in terms of like how they want to go about on looking for education or looking for further study. So it's better for you to actually identify what are your top 3 priorities so that you can use that as a baseline when you go and survey for university options. Okay. So next will be a short introduction about SIM. So Singapore Institute of Management, we have two main entities. One is in the green logo, which is us, where we provide programs from the foundation level and diploma and degree, and also the master's level. Okay, so at the moment we have 17,000 students with us, including the Singaporean students and also international students. So next up will be the SIM blue logo, SIM Professional Development, where we provide trainings to the companies based in Singapore and also overseas. So these both entity actually work hand in hand, where we provide trainings to the Singaporean companies and also overseas companies. We actually gain experience and also knowledge about the current situation in terms of like the industry. So for example, if they're trying to develop a certain skill, we'll be able to know what are they trying to improve so that we can bring these insights and also experience to our students back in the institution so that they are ready in terms of like once they graduate, they'll be having all these skills with them already while they actually go for job interviews and also job search. So next up, I would like to share with you a short video in terms of talking about transnational education.
Thinking of studying overseas? The Singapore Institute of Management, a leading private education institution, is here for you. Choosing to study at SIM means you're studying in Singapore while pursuing a degree from the US, UK, or Australia. And you will graduate with a degree awarded by our university partners. This is known as transnational education. Studying in Singapore is more affordable than studying in the US, UK, or Australia. You can choose from over 80 reputable program specializations ranging from business, social science, and IT. Plan your transnational education with SIM. Consult with us today.
All right, the video actually explains about transnational education, where you're actually leveraging different countries to complete your tertiary studies. So if you're studying with us in Singapore Institute of Management, the qualification and the degree that you'll be getting is basically from our university partners from the US, UK, Australia, and France. So it depends on your specialization. Let's say you're interested in psychology, then we have the option to study with University at Buffalo, US, or University of Wollongong, Australia. If let's say you're interested in data science, then University of London will be offering the specializations for data science. So let's talk about the duration. So if you're talking about the comparison between studying in the US for psychology and then studying in Singapore for the same program, in US, typically the degree will take you 4 years to complete, whereas in Singapore, in 3 years, you'll be able to complete. This is due to the summer holidays, which is slightly longer if you're taking the program in US. So let us talk about the course fee. So the course fee studying in Singapore is also slightly lower. We later on have a graph or have a price chart in order for you to actually compare the fees. And next up will be also the location. Having Singapore is also quite close to Malaysia, and also culturally is also very similar. It's very adaptive for you to actually study in Singapore, and then later on, if you want to transfer over to the respective university partners country, then you can actually do so as well. So as I mentioned as before, the qualification is directly from our university partners. So whatever you'll be getting in Singapore Institute of Management is exactly the same value and also qualification from from our university partners. So next up, we have our specializations that we offer in Singapore Institute of Management. As you can see, we have different specializations in the field of business, art and social sciences, computing, and also the specialty programs. So just a bit about the specialty programs. Not all that are listed here is meant for high school graduates. For example, if you're interested in aviation, this is meant for students that have completed diploma and also having a relevant working experience in order for you to actually take this aviation program. So same goes to construction management and also nursing. Okay, so today, unfortunately, I'm able to share with you each and every one of the specialization. However, if you really want to know more about a specific specialization, you can reach out to us directly. We can actually share with you the entry requirement, whether you're suitable to take these specializations or not, and also what sort of career opportunities you can actually get from these specializations. Okay, so let us know, and we shall get back to you as soon as possible through the consultation. So what is really important is basically looking at what you're passionate about and what are your skills or even your good traits that can actually help you elevate in terms of what specializations you choose. So for example, if you're really not good in maths, then I wouldn't suggest you to actually take accounting or even data science. All right. So if let's say you're very good in speaking or talking, then probably I would suggest you to go for, let's say, marketing, communication, or even certain programs like international relations. So when you have different skill set, it's better for you to actually focus on that in order for you to be more successful in that field. So you want to know more about whether your skill set is suitable for these specializations, you can reach out to us. We can actually do like a personality test and to suggest you which specializations might be suitable from our offerings that is here. All right. Next up, we have the exchange opportunities that you can actually have in terms of like transferring for a semester over to our university partners. So these are all based on semester exchange, where you're still paying the Singapore Institute of Management fees instead of the university partner fees. So it's still slightly cheaper if you're going through this exchange route. So having said that, you'll be able to leverage on different countries' learning experience and also international exposure. So it's very, very good if you're planning to have this into your tertiary study experience. So next up will be the duration. So as I mentioned before, if you're studying with us in Singapore Institute of Management, we have a slightly exclusive pathway towards our university partners that you can complete. The whole study duration is slightly shorter. So if you want to compare studying in Malaysia and also studying in Singapore, normally if you're completing SPM in Malaysia and started with foundation of 1 year and then a 3 years degree, it will take you 4 years already. If you're comparing studying with us in Singapore, it will be a 6 months foundation after SPM, 12 to 15 months of a diploma, and then a degree from 1.5 years to 2 years. So the total duration, the shortest that you can actually complete it is basically 3 years and 3 months time. So instead of 4 years in Malaysia, you'll be taking on 3 years and 3 months to complete everything. So that is the shortest durations that we can actually provide to you in order for you to graduate a bit earlier, so that you can start your career a bit earlier as well. So as I mentioned just now, this is basically the course fee comparison that we be able to share with you today. For example, if you're taking the University at Buffalo, the US program, if you're doing it in the US, this is the course fee for the whole duration of 4 years. Tuition fee only. However, if you're taking on the program in Singapore with SIM, the tuition fee is 70,000 Sing dollars for the whole 3 years program. So that is actually the comparison. You're basically paying only half of it in Singapore, getting a same qualification once you graduate. So same goes to University of London, University of Birmingham, and also the Australian university that we have. So it's slightly cheaper compared to actually studying overseas with our university partners in their respective country. So of course, as I mentioned before, you can start with us first, still leveraging on the tuition fee with Singapore, and then transfer for a semester there, where you still can get the international exchange opportunity. Okay. Next up will be the cost of living. So if you're from out of state, because most of the institutions in Malaysia is basically in KL. So let's say you're out of state, then you're required to actually rent a place in KL, or even spend a little bit more in terms of expenses while you're staying in KL. So especially if you're from East Malaysia, the cost of actually living in KL is very comparable living in Singapore as well. So from here, you can basically see the comparison. In Singapore, you're estimated you're gonna roughly use 1,005 Sing dollars for a month, whereas in KL, the standard price will be roughly around 1,000. So it's not much of a difference. Some of our Malaysian students, they even share that they don't even go up to 1,005 per month. It's roughly 1,000 to 1,002 depending on their lifestyle. So unless you're eating buffet style every day, then of course your cost will go up. But if let's say you're okay with actually home cook, or even go to hawker center for your meals, then you'll be basically spending much more lesser in Singapore. So from here, I would like to talk about the career opportunities in Singapore. So as you will know, Singapore is also quite developed, and also the economy is quite stable. Even in the terms of the pandemic, they are recovering quite quickly as well. So this actually attracts a lot of investors from different countries. So you can see a lot of international companies, they would prefer to actually set up their branch office, their Southeast Asia branch in Singapore. So you can see also, for example, Amazon, they are basically setting up their branch office in Singapore. Okay, so this actually opens up a lot of opportunities, especially for us Malaysians, because we are culturally similar, and we are so close to Singapore as well. So this is a very good start if let's say you want to start your career with. So aside from the international qualifications that we offer in SIM, we also have this initiative called Project 1095. So 1095 represents 3 years of your study duration. So this initiative is basically focusing on developing student skill sets out of this classroom. So all these skill sets are relevant and transferable when you're actually looking for jobs, and also looking for your career, or starting off with your career. So under the student development portion, we have different society clubs that you can join. We have sports, we have art and social clubs, we have special interests. So a lot of these clubs are actually open for everyone, regardless whether you're from different countries. It's all open to you. So when you're picking up different clubs, it represents that you have a very good time management skill, which is very, very important towards the companies that are based in Singapore. So next up, we have the global learning portion, where students can actually sign up for a summer exchange program, where you transfer over to different countries for a certain amount of time to do social work, to do projects, so that you can get that international exposure about different countries. So this will actually build your network in terms of like getting friends, probably getting future networking friends from the respective country that you're visiting for this summer exchange. So next up, we have the student care portion, where we actually help students in terms of like managing themselves well. So let's say you're bubble up with a lot of like study work, then we can actually have a workshop for you to actually de-stress yourself, or even having a stress management workshop or talk for you to actually be more mentally prepared in terms of like how to manage your time, how to manage your study, and how to manage your personal life as well. So other than that, we also have a lot of like support mechanism for students. So for example, here we have the peer assisted learning. It's basically senior students that did very well in that particular subject coming back to the how to say, to this portion to teach you, or to provide, to be like your tutor. So these are all qualified. They go through an evaluation process by the lecturer and by the faculty as well, in order for them to provide, the seniors provide these tutor for students that need these support. So the career development department provides supports in terms of like trying to get the students to network with the companies that they are interested in. So for example, in the career chapter, actually students are in charge to reach out to the companies that they want, and using our platform to network with them. So for example, this career chapter, the person in charge, or the student in charge, they would actually do a survey with the students in terms of like what companies that they want to engage with, and they will reach out to these companies to have like a networking session within campus or even out of campus or even online, depending on the situation. So during this pandemic, a lot of activities that are here is moved towards online. So it's due to the pandemic. So we regardless will be able to help in terms of like setting up the meetings or engaging with the companies so that students can have that exposure. So next up will be the talent development portion, where students are going through several trainings or even several departments to do certain of tasks, so that they develop themselves in terms of like which department they are more suitable to work with. And then next up, we have Project Protege, where we have our alumni that are currently working in the industry come back to SIM to be like a mentee and mentor sort of like an arrangement. So the mentor will be guiding these mentees in terms of like how to prepare themselves, and there will be a timeline for these mentors to come back and check on these students. So this will actually keep the students in line in terms of what they actually need to do and how to prepare themselves to get the job that they want. So we also have our internal unicorn portal. This is like the job streets of the world, where this is internally for SIM students only. So the companies that are posting jobs, they can post it here, and it's only exclusive to our own SIM students. So this is basically what we offer to our students outside of the classroom, where we want students join these activities as soon as possible or even as earlier as possible so that they will be able to get ready. So in terms of like getting a job in Singapore, you would need to have more than your qualification. You need to be different from the other student that is applying for that job. So that is why having the variety of workshops, having the variety of interest clubs, and also different support to build your skill set would help you to elevate yourself in terms of like job search in Singapore. So these are the employers that we are collaborating with, where we engage them. We actually bring our students to visit their companies, and also we actually bring these employers to our campus for like a career fair and also some workshops, so that our students will be able to engage with them. So it's very important for our students to get exposed with these companies in order for them to understand well, and then later on during the interview, they will be able to meet the expectations of what these companies are actually looking for. All right. So this is some insights about salary expectation once you finish your degree and start working in Singapore as a fresh graduate. So from the table, you can see University of Wollongong having the highest rate here. Is because most of our IT programs and our computing programs is with the University of Wollongong. So other programs are also relatively good. Averagely, they are getting 3,000 Sing dollars as their first salary after they graduate. So these are the expectations that you can get when you start working in Singapore. So this is basically a YouTube page where you can actually go in and to learn more about the different specializations from our alumni. So for example, this alumni right here, he's a psychology alumni that completed the UB program, University at Buffalo program, and is currently pursuing his PhD in UK. So in this video, he's actually explaining about the different specializations that you can pursue after a degree and what sort of like industry that you can actually work with as well. So same goes to the other specializations like communication, finance, and IT as well. So if you have the time, you can actually visit our YouTube page, type in Coffee Chat with SIM Alumni, and you'll be able to find these videos available. So it's very important for you to go through if you're not yet decided what to do so in your career or in your future. So this gives you a little, an exposure and an insight in terms of like what to expect in the careers. So there's another video here I would like to share, just a short message. Just hold on. Let me play this video.
The world you live in might not be the world you graduate into. To prepare for the unknown, you need skills that let you adapt to any situation or to various work environments. At SIM, we equip you with a global perspective and prepare you for an ever-changing workplace. With the right preparation, you can create your own future.
So from here, we really want to emphasize on having students to be fully equipped with the skill set, with the knowledge, and to also having their opportunities to create their own future. So that's why you can see the international qualifications that we offer in SIM, and also the support system in terms of like career development, having different interest clubs, CCAs, for you to actually expose yourself with different skill sets, so that you'll be able to fully equip yourself and to further find your career or further start your career in future. So this is the final message that I wanted to actually share with you guys while you're actually still in high school, deciding what to do so in future. So if you would like to reach out to us directly, we have a KL office that is based in Mid Valley, and these are our contact details. So if you want to know more about the programs, the specializations, if you want to do a career test, we can actually give you one so that you can identify yourself what programs that might be suitable for you. We can actually have a one-on-one consultation via Zoom as well, or even meet up physically if you're in KL. Okay. So we also have an agent that is based in Miri, LMP Consultant Services. You can reach out to Madam Lim or Miss E, and also these are the phone numbers that you can actually WhatsApp or even email them. Okay, so if you want to know more about different options studying in Singapore or even Malaysia or even other countries, LMP will be able to provide you more information and comparison. Okay, that's all from me today. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. My name is Yang. I'm from Singapore Institute of Management. I would also like to thank your teachers for giving me these opportunities to share about studying overseas and in particular studying in Singapore Institute of Management. In the meantime, I hope everyone is doing well and also taking care. And good luck in your exams and your high school. I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you.